Philharmonic Orchestra presents its national tour, featuring legendary conductor Marin Alsop and homegrown global sensation Abel Selauchwe. The program includes Selauchwe's Four Spirits Cello Concerto, paired with Rachmaninoff's Romantic Symphony No. 2. Concerts take place at the Linda Auditorium on Wednesday the 10th and Thursday the 11th of December. Book your tickets now at Quicket.
For the first time on African soil, business leaders from across the globe will gather for the B20 Summit in Sandton from 18th to 20th November. On the agenda is inclusive growth and prosperity through global cooperation. This Tuesday, the Clement Manatela Show will be in conversation with Nedbank to discuss all the news, views and insights live from the B20 Summit. So tune in to 702 in conversation with Nedbank, proud sponsors of the B20 Summit. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider.
This is EWN.
Good afternoon, I'm Modise. We begin with breaking news. Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi lives to see another day in office after the motion of no confidence against him failed. The provincial legislature heard the motion today, which was brought forward by the DA. The party accuses Lesufi of mishandling and allegations of corruption regarding Tembisa Hospital tenders and negligence regarding the unconstitutional establishment of the crime prevention wardens. However, the DA has failed to convince the majority of the House to support its motion. 2 young people have been killed in a suspected drug turf war in Wentworth, south of Durban this morning. 7 others sustained injuries and were rushed to hospital for medical care. Police are now searching for the 2 suspects behind the hit. Nhlanhla Mabaso has more.
While police are about to finish combing through evidence at the crime scene, detectives are searching for the suspects responsible for the incident. It's alleged 2 men opened a group of people who were seated outside a flat in Wentworth, instantly killing 2 young men. Eyewitnesses say the gunmen, who were traveling in a grey Mazda 3, chased the victims as they ran away, continuously shooting at them. Police spokesperson Robert Nechiwunda.
Motive of the killing is unknown at this stage, but gang and drug turf war cannot be ruled out.
Police are investigating a case of murder and attempted murder. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Durban.
Wynberg Girls High School in Cape Town has been declared safe by the police's bomb disposal and K9 units. This morning's bomb threat was the second at the school in a matter of days. It comes at the end of the 4th week of matric exams, with grade 12s writing Life Sciences Paper 1 today. Lauren Isaacs has more.
Police say learners and school staff have been given the all-clear to return to the building after being evacuated for bomb disposal, and K9 unit members to conduct a sweep at Wynberg Girls High School. The Western Cape Education Department's Brona Hammond says the integrity of the matric exams has not been compromised and learners had been moved to another facility to prevent any interruption.
We did arrange for the secure transportation of the NSC examination papers to an alternative venue, and candidates were directed in advance to this location.
Hammond says whether genuine or not, the threat constitutes a very serious criminal offence that's not only illegal but highly disruptive. Lauren Isaacs, Eyewitness News.
President Cyril Ramaphosa says those who've pulled out of attending the G20 will miss out on the important work of the summit. He says boycott politics never work because the work set out for the meeting will continue in their absence. Ramaphosa was speaking at the CEO City Cleanup at Walter Sisulu Square in Kliptown, Soweto. He expressed that he's pleased with the progress of the city's revitalization a week before the summit. Jabli Lambata has more.
US President Donald Trump was among the first to announce that he will not attend the G20 summit, adding that no other US government officials will be present. Since then, the presidents of China, Argentina, Mexico and Russia have also withdrawn from attending and opted to send representatives instead. Commenting on the impact of absent leaders on the summit, Ramaphosa says it is those who choose not to attend who will be most affected.
But we have said that boycott politics never work. If you boycott an event or a process, you are the greatest loser, because the show will go on. The summit will go on. We're not going to stop because they are not here. And we will continue, and we will take fundamental decisions on matters that affect the people of the world.
He adds that the G20 represents up to 80% of the global economy. Relebogile Mabotja, Eyewitness News, Kliptown.
And the Gauteng Health Department is leading a commemorative event today in Soweto to mobilize communities to adopt healthier lifestyles on World Diabetes Day. World Diabetes Day, observed annually, aims to raise awareness about the illness and other non-communicable diseases. This year's focus is on the challenges faced by workers living with diabetes, including stigma, discrimination, and common misconceptions in the workplace. Under the slogan, "Know More and Do More for Diabetes at Work," the Health Department is urging employers to create supportive environments and promote early screening. James Ngcobo has more.
Protea South community members turned out in large numbers at the local community hall in Soweto this morning as the annual drive to promote early detection of diabetes got underway. Various health sectors have set up gazebos and testing stations to bring screening and other health services directly to the community as part of the drive. Health officials say early detection is especially crucial for people aged between 34 to 75 and those who are overweight, as they carry a higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Gauteng Health MEC Relebogile is set to lead the commemorative event. James Ngcobo, Eyewitness News.
Gold is trading at $4,155.74 an ounce. The rand's at 17.15 to the dollar, 22.52 to the pound, and 19.92 to the euro. Brent crude oil's at $63.01 a barrel.
Well, at this stage, we still have those roadworks in the Calvin area slowing down traffic. This is on the N3 southbound between the Butler Interchange and London Road. If you're in Bryanston heading towards Fourways, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N1 southbound between Rivonia Road and Winnie Mandela Drive.
It's a partly cloudy Friday with isolated afternoon showers and thunder showers expected. The temperatures peaking at highs of between 25 and 27. The top story in EWN this hour. We have breaking news. Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi lives to see another day in office after the motion of no confidence against him failed.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Live
On the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856
92.7
and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
Good afternoon to you on this magical Friday. I'm Jane Dutton. I'm in for Relebogile Mabotja. And in the last hour, we were talking about the humble snowball. We were speaking to Baker's Creations about that and how he started from a small little kitchen to now supplying some of the biggest supermarkets with that. And then we jived alongside Sipho Hotsticks Mabusa, somebody from my youth, I have to tell you, and it was absolutely marvelous. And now in the upside of failure, well, there are legends, and then there is this man, the actor, director, playwright, artistic director, culture disruptor, James Ngcobo, who's with us in the studio. And you know what the deal is. If you want to ask him any questions that you can relate to or anything you want to find out about his success or his failures, you can give us a call on 011-883-0702. You can tweet me at Radio 702. You can email me at 702afternoons at 702.0.za. You can WhatsApp me and we'll play your messages or your voice messages on 072 702 1702.
702.
The upside of failure.
Proof that a setback can lead to a step forward.
The Upside of Failure on 702 is brought to you by FNB Premier, celebrating 25 years of helping you live the Premier life. And I'm delighted to say that James is with me here in the studio. You are one of the South Africa's most influential artistic leaders. I'm just going to do your CV for you, right? Just in case you've forgotten something. Celebrated for your groundbreaking direction, unwavering commitment to diverse and meaningful narratives, and your journey is weaved through the iconic Market Theatre, where he helped shape its evolution with bold productions and storytellings that pushed boundaries. Very good afternoon to you.
Thank you so much, Jane.
When you were a kid, did you ever think that you would be sitting in a studio talking about your unbelievable successes to thousands of people?
No, definitely not.
How does it feel?
It's exciting, but at the same time, it's something you receive with a lot of humility because I've always believed one's journey it doesn't end. You're constantly learning, and I have the humility to work with people that have been mentors to me, and I'm not an ageist. I work with young people, and I learn a lot from young people. Just like this sector that I'm in, through their eyes, it absolutely excites me because we get into a space where we do storytelling, but we've got contemporary eyes, and so that we're not approaching story from a sentimental space. It's an idea of why we're telling the story, what is the pertinence of the story, who do we think will come to see the story, and all stories we tell have been told before. Then you say to yourself, what is it that we bring to the story that then represents us tackling it now? It's other incarnation.
I'm with you. I'm not ageist. I'm not sexist. I get very excited when I go somewhere and there's somebody who's ancient and there's somebody who's super young, because you think, this is exciting.
Yes.
They've got a different dynamic, a different dimension that we might miss.
Yeah, pearls of wisdom are from everywhere, and we have the joy to just catch them when they come our way.
So, I mean, you've been in so many things. You're the first Black artistic director of the Market Theatre Foundation. That's a role that you held for 9 years. You've had many television roles in Stokvel, the Netflix series Queen Sona, for which you won a SAFTA. So you've got all images, all views, all different experiences in this magical world that you are in.
Yes, and I mean, I started out as an actor, but even then when I was a young actor, I always knew that I didn't want to just be an actor. And I still call myself an actor today because I am an actor.
Yes.
But I'm very excited by the idea of being cast in a story and somebody's leading the vision of the unpacking of that story. I'm excited by the idea of teasing new narratives that can pop out and so you're working on new work, but also you're taking some of the classics and you say, how can we reimagine the story? And so also to be part of the incubation of the next generation of content creators. And so I just love a whole salad of it. That
You're a lucky man.
Yeah, that one is just able to say it's not one thing, it's many things, and when you jump into all those things with a sense of curiosity, it's exciting.
Okay, let's go a little back a little bit. You grew up in KwaMashu, the 10th of 12 children, with a grandmother who spun stories like Oxygen, I believe. What did failure mean in that world?
Would be to be without the memory of people who said to you it is possible. And so my grandmother was that for me. I think of her every day. I cook. It's one of my biggest passions in life. I'm always cooking. I'm always thinking of what I'm eating next, and I'm a fussy eater. And I just love the idea of getting in the kitchen and make things. I grow things, and this is all from her. And
lovely.
And so every time I have a wooden board in front of me and a knife and ingredients, she pops up because she also, when I said to her I was hungry, she said hungry people are in the kitchen. And then and she taught me how to cook, and then I just discovered that I was so passionate with the idea of cooking things, of just making a dish and making people sit and break bread and eat that. And also there's a humility that comes with cooking. You can put your whole heart in cooking, but you have no control over whether people enjoy the food or not.
Yeah.
So what you do, you break your back to make the best dish you'll ever make. And so telling stories also for me, it's on that pedestal. You know, I always say when I'm in the room with actors and say to them, we just got to keep digging and find the truth of these people that will be presenting
no matter
to the audiences.
how hard or emotional or
yes, the needs of these biographies that will be presenting to the audience. And I believe you must fail with a broken back, not to just sit and go, it will come. Things don't come. You work on them.
So let's go back to that cooking analogy, because I quite like it. I mean, cooking, I suppose, is a bit like life, right? I mean, you try, and sometimes you fail. I remember, as you were talking, and I'm kind of hit and miss cook, but I was living in London, and we had a friend and I had a whole lot of people over, and the meal was an absolute disaster. It was and we were dying inside. But in a way, it kind of spurted a little bit of growth. I mean, do you think cooking can do that too? If you botch it up, you go, okay, hold on. Okay, that was a disaster, so maybe I need to tweak this. Maybe I need to tweak this and add a little bit more spice here.
And be adventurous when something has always gone with a certain type of a herb, and then you do a what if.
Yeah.
Yes, and those are my two favorite words. Beyond what if, there is discovery. And then you constantly, and you're talking about cooking. Last year, I cooked for a bunch of friends when we were at the festival in Edinburgh.
My favorite.
And I just I woke up that morning, I went for a very long walk, and I was thinking, what do I make for these people? And some of the people that I was cooking for, I know they cook very well, and I made a Babette's feast for these people, and I just and you cook with an idea of, if somebody surprised me with the meal, what would excite me? Then I get into the into that space of just really putting dishes together that ooze heart. And that also say you curated the lunch.
Well, I mean, you said Babette's Feast. I remember watching that movie and then afterwards going, I need food. You could smell it coming through the screen. It was extraordinary. But let's go back to your youth. I mean, when you were growing up and you've got this incredible grandmother who's stimulating you and your creative juices, were there moments where you were teased, where something didn't work for you at school, where there was some event that backfired, that made you or helped you become what you are today?
Yeah, I mean, and part of the teasing also when I was growing up, I was rubbish at soccer. When I was so passionate.
Not cool for a kid.
Yeah, I was so passionate about it, and I'm growing up in the township. There isn't a lot of options sport-wise, and there was something about soccer that just really appealed to me. I guess I was a normal boy, like any other boy, and then when I realized that I wasn't great at it, and I then suddenly sort of like I would just tell stories to my friends who were like really great soccer people, and I was like almost like the village cry. I was telling stories. So there was a moment of growth, a total acceptance that it's a gift that is not given to me. So it broke my heart when I realized that I wasn't really great at it. But
wonderful knowing what you were good at, and therefore you could exploit that, and hopefully that people could ignore the fact that you were not good on the soccer pitch.
And there were choirs when I was young in the township. I sang in choirs, and it was just so lovely to be in a school hall and with a choir master and you learning a song and whatever. So one got to then explore just other avenues of excitement, a bit of a ticket to escapism from just the normal or the life that one was living in the township, and going to the village to my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, where I discovered that I was actually quite a good swimmer, and there was a river there that we would go swimming, and for a township kid, it was just like an amazing thing to jump on the bus and go to a village and to go somewhere else, to a different landscape, and with relatives, with friends that and people teasing you, because when you grow up in the township, there's something about the nuance of language. My language is isiZulu, where you will hear words that you don't hear in the township, and there's just this authenticity in the village around language, which was also. But at that time, I didn't know that I had a love of story. It was just. You know, I promise you, Jan, I had no idea. But somebody will say a word, and I remember there was a guy we were playing, and he used the word Ubulunga, which is just something. I'm from the north coast of KwaZulu-Natal, grew up in Durban, and then my parents came from that side, and that person was from the south coast. And it was a word I'd never heard before. And so there's just this idea of dialects, of things that was just stuck. And I said to this person, what does this mean? And they told me, and I said, well, I wouldn't use that word. I would use this word.
So you already knew
geographically. Also, there's a beautiful placement that comes from language when you hear, you know, dialects, accents, and whatever they place us.
Okay,
these different lilts that we have.
I want to hear more about that and more about the journeys and the failures that led you to this place. There's also somebody, we're going to play a voice note after this break, somebody who went to school with you.
Wow.
To celebrate 25 years of helping you live the Premier life, FNB Premier is giving you a chance to win a 14-day European tour experience and other cool monthly prizes. Open any FNB Premier account from September to 31 December 2025. Switch your salary, swipe or tap a minimum of 2,000 Rand per month for 3 months straight. Spend and win with FNB Premier. FNB, help changes everything. TCs and competition rules apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
Make the winning move when you play Powerball and Powerball Plus for 42 million Rand in total estimated jackpots this Friday. That's right. Play Powerball for an estimated 36 million Rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 6 million Rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529 hash for USSD. Panda, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old or play responsibly. eTuba is a proud operator of the National Lottery.
At Isuzu, we know every delivery, every kilometer, and every load is building something bigger. This truck month, set your business up for success with special deals across the Isuzu N and F-Series ranges. Don't get left behind. Speak to your Isuzu truck specialist or call 08600 Isuzu and secure your truck month deal today. Isuzu, with you for the long run. T's and C's apply.
Summer's almost here, and so is the magic of the Stodels pot promotion. For a limited time, enjoy up to 50% off pots of every size, shape and color. Big or small, indoor or outdoor, plastic or ceramic. There's something special about finding the perfect pot, the one that brings color, life and joy to your garden. Hurry, this once-a-year event ends 16 November. Visit your nearest Stodels Garden Centre today. Stodels, create happiness.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
Obviously, the pressure is on to keep production at this level while gold is so high. How difficult do you think it's going to be to do that?
You know, yesterday we forecasted at consensus, which is $1,000 below spot prices today, will generate around $20 billion of cash over the next 5 years. Goldfield's got a proud history of over 138 years of continuous production. And
Mike Fraser, CEO at Goldfield.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Curtis is brought to you by ABSA CIB, named Best Cash Management Services in Africa at the 2025 EMEA Finance Treasury Services Awards.
Let's count backward. 5. Insurance. 4. Pineapple. 3. Insurance. 2. Pineapple. 1. You're under. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
This is the Upside of Failure on 702 Afternoons with Relebogile. Brought to you by FNB Premier, celebrating 25 years of helping you live the Premier life.
Well, I'm in the studio with James Ngcobo, renowned South African artistic director, actor, and he's just been waving through the window to Sipho Hotsticks Mabotja, who we were just listening to a little bit earlier on. And I'm going to play you a voice note from somebody who went to school with you.
Hi there. I once went with James Ngcobo at high school called Igukulabasha High School in KwaMashu in Durban. And we could see that he was going to make it in this. he used to call himself, I'm Reverend James Cleveland, man.
Do you remember that?
Yes, thank you. Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay, so
madness.
Madness.
Yeah.
Okay, so he knew you were going to make it, but we all know that in order to make it, things have to go wrong. Things have to go wrong. It's the only way that sort of fuels passion or reimagining your life. What is the worst thing that has happened to you, career-wise, emotionally-wise? What was the low point for you?
Career-wise, there was a film that I auditioned for. I worked and worked. It was a movie called Hotel Rwanda.
Mm-hmm, yes.
And the role I auditioned for went to the stunning Desmond Dube. And I went for like 5 callbacks for that film. And when you are asked to for callbacks, it means there's something that you are giving to the director that they can see. And by the time I did the 5th callback, I went back and my agent called me to her house and she said, come at 5:30. And I said, but you close at 5. And she said, come at 5:30. And I sat with my agent and there was something all forlorn about her when I looked at her and I said, are you okay? And she said, no, not really. And I said, why? She said, James, you didn't get this thing. I was finished. I remember she was in Parkhurst at that time. I just walked down. There used to be a restaurant called George on 4th. And I went and just sat at that place and the waitress kept saying to me, are you going to order something? And I was just like, the disappointment was just unbearable for me. And it took me a while actually to recover from it because of the hard work that I'd given to it. And the next week I discovered that it went to Desmond. I was so happy because Desmond is an amazing actor. And it was almost like a month later I get asked to audition for Dame Janet Suzman.
Okay, before we go there, in this moment when you were down, did it feel like you'd been kicked in the stomach?
A big kick in the stomach. And I just would wake up every day and go for a very long walk. And I remember a friend saw me walking and they said, you love this walking, it keeps you fit. And I was thinking it's got nothing to do with fitness. I just needed solitude. I just needed to walk and work it out and just work it out.
And what went through your head in that period?
It was a big why. I just had a big why. I just I even prepared 3 different monologues for this piece. I remember one was a Chekhov and one was a writing by Blok Modisane and one was a Fugard. And I just wanted to really present like diverse stories to the director, and I think the healing came when I pragmatically said to myself, it wasn't meant for me, but it's not easy.
Did it make you question your talent?
Yeah. You saying, but what is it about what I presented that didn't hit the mark? And I guess the growing up is the acceptance that it wasn't.
So what was that turning point?
Yeah, the turning point is exactly a month later. My agent calls me and I met with her and I had to go and audition for Dame Janet Suzman. And I auditioned for her. I was cast in a second lead in London in a play called The Cherry Orchard that played in 9. I was in the UK for 9 months playing a huge role. And I had to speak a bit of Russian in like an iconic play. And around me, I was just surrounded by gods and goddesses of West End. I was working with top actors.
Do you think you would have got that if you hadn't come to that realization that actually it wasn't your time, it wasn't the moment?
No, I needed that. So in life, we need hurdles. Yeah. And we are equipped and with a how to jump a hurdle. And when it comes your way, you need to see it for what it is and be in that moment of wonderment. There's a huge hurdle. How do I get over it? And life gives you things that are innate in you, and you find a way to then, when you jump over that hurdle, then you find something that feels like bliss, that was designed for you. And because I believe our paths were designed for us, and ours is to walk them. And in the walking of them, they're not easy, and so those moments that sometimes are quite philosophical about, when people say, why must it be easy for you? It's not easy. Nobody has it easy.
And I guess those hurdles sort of nudge you in all sorts of different directions that possibly you hadn't thought of taking. James, we're going to take the news headlines now, and we're going to continue talking.
To celebrate 25 years of helping you live the Premier life, FNB Premier is giving you a chance to win a 14-day European tour experience and other cool monthly prizes. Open any FNB Premier account from September to 31 December 2025. Switch your salary, swipe or tap a minimum of 2,000 Rand per month for 3 months straight. Spend and win with FNB Premier. FNB, help changes everything. TCs and competition rules apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
It's 2:30. Time for the headlines. Go ahead.
Thank you, Jane. Good afternoon. I'm Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi lives to see another day in office after the motion of no confidence against him has failed. The provincial legislature heard the motion today, which was brought forward by the DA. The party accuses Lesufi of mishandling allegations of corruption regarding the Tembisa hospital tenders and negligence regarding the unconstitutional establishment of the crime prevention wardens. The Department of Home Affairs has clarified that the 153 travellers from Palestine did not apply for asylum. The group had landed at the OR Tambo International Airport on Thursday from Nairobi. They were kept in the plane for hours due to not having customary departure stamps to disembark. And thousands of doctors in England have begun a 5-day strike over pay and training posts. This is the 13th walkout by medics since March 2023. The Health Minister, Wes Streeting, has condemned the strike, accusing leadership of the doctors' union of choosing confrontation over care. Those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 3 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Well, at this hour in the Tembisa area heading towards Pretoria, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic. This is on the R21 northbound approaching Olifantsfontein Road due to an earlier accident. Also, we still have those roadworks in the Calvin Alex area on the N3. This is causing delays in both directions between London Road and the Pretoria interchange. If you're heading towards the four ways, there's slow-moving traffic in Bryanston N1 southbound between Rivonia Road and the Pretoria interchange, and finally in Midrand, bumper-to-bumper traffic N1 northbound between the Pretoria interchange and New Road. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
To celebrate 25 years of helping you live the Premier life, FNB Premier is giving you a chance to win a 14-day European tour experience and other cool monthly prizes. Open any FNB Premier account from September to 31 December 2025. Switch your salary, swipe or tap a minimum of 2,000 Rand per month for 3 months straight. Spend and win with FNB Premier. FNB, help changes everything. TCs and competition rules apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
And the award for the spiciest stunt performed in a bowl goes to Tom Yum Cruise.
Thank you everyone. Wow, what an honor. I'd like to thank the chilies, the lemongrass, and of course, Simply Asia for believing in my flavor.
It's the summer of stars at Simply Asia. Stand a chance to win a Toyota Starlet when you spend 200 Rand or more on our famous flavors. Order now. Simply Asia, connecting the Thaiway.
Before a masterpiece takes shape, there's a single line that starts it all, until every curve and every angle reflects the clarity of a single vision. And only then does inspiration take its final form. The all-new Audi A5, designed to inspire. Starting from 14,499 per month with a guaranteed future value. Visit audi.co.za or your nearest dealer for more. T's and C's apply.
Day 20, awaiting proof of payment. Day 30, still waiting. Day 40, funds finally cleared. In business, credit with 55 interest-free days keeps you moving. We get it. Get an ABSA Business Credit Card. Use over 50% of your credit and initiation fees will be on us. Offer ends 31 December 2025. Apply at absa.co.za/business. ABSA is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply. ABSA, your story matters.
702 was in conversation with Momentum on The Money Show with Stephen Frutis, discussing the power of focus and the science of success.
You've developed a thing called money fingerprint. I mean, what is that? How does that sort of drive our financial decisions?
So basically, we're giving the ability to financial advisors to have discussions with clients or investors about their kind of factory settings, right? So we all have these attitudes, experiences that we collect throughout our lives. We have personality traits. That's our set of characteristics that make us who we are. And this sort of interacts with markets, it interacts with various sort of things that happen in the world, and it influences our behavior. So basically what we're doing is we're giving financial advisors the ability to look at this scientifically through a psychometric assessment to try and bring out what these likely behaviors might be and then try and help people get that outcome.
Visit momentum.co.za for more info. Momentum, your journey to success. Momentum is an authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
Coming up
on 702 Drive.
Tabo's in for John, and it seems that you know everyone, and you know everyone, James.
I know this gentleman very, very well. Amazing. Yeah.
You're going to try and upstage us with your show afterwards.
I doubt. I mean, after this, we must just all go home, close down the radio station and go home. But on the show today, a couple of things. The Madlanga Commission will look into that and just try to see what happened today, especially the filth that's been taking place in EMPD, Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department. Scary stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll just try to delve into that a little bit. And we'll also have our own AWN reporter, Alpha Ramushana, telling us about the motion of no confidence against Panyaza Lesufi. Whether that will pass or not, of course we know that it's not, but I think it's a huge political statement, and a democracy should have those features if we truly believe in democracy. And much later on, we obviously have a song, a book, and a dish, and we have an amazing guest. But also, Randall's one song is also coming up. He's chosen an amazing song. But Jane, we are going to ask you, well, maybe not on a lighter note, but seriously, when the show, just after the show begins, John has these light moments. We'll be asking, are you really a good person, or are the circumstances forcing you to be who you are? Meaning,
that's an interesting topic.
You'd have some people thinking, no, I'm a faithful guy, I don't cheat and whatever. In the meantime, ladies don't really want you. And circumstances are forcing you to be a faithful person. That's a crazy example, but are you really a good person that you tell others to be, or is it just circumstantial? So all of that between 3 and 6.
Lovely topic. Yeah. We shall be listening.
Thank you.
702.
the upside of failure.
Proof that a setback can lead to a step forward.
So welcome back. I'm Jane Dutton in for Relebogile Mabotja, and with me in the office, in the studio, is James Ngcobo, and we're talking about the upside of failure. And we were talking about hurdles and how you really grow. And I'm just wondering, as a young kid, how did you deal with things that didn't go well? Was there rage? Was there anger? Do you take any of that with you now that you're older?
A weird thing also about being a kid, and at that moment you don't know it. There is, in a very weird way, a faculty that allows you to understand things as a kid, so there were things that happened that as you observe them, you understand as a kid you have no control over the trajectory of those things, but the one thing I always mention, I'm what you would call an apartheid kid. I was born in 1969. I grew up in the township, and to this day, I always say we don't really take time to pause and take our hats off to our parents who brought us up with such love. It's the one thing I know that I had when I was a kid. it was just buckets of love from my mother, from my father, from I had a whole lot of siblings. So there was moments that you see that are difficult, but at the same time, the flip side of that is that you are cared for, you are loved. And I think as a kid, you can't really write a thesis on it as a kid, but you accept things for what they are. And so children have that amazing thing of just an acceptance and moving on from. So for me, that was just one of the, and I sit back now in hindsight and I think of all those moments and I realize that they were all part of just like making a quilt. They were all part of shaping the person sitting in front of you now.
And how lucky
I
were
needed
you that you
Yeah.
had this sort of love to overcome or to sort of filter out that hatred that was there in the time in the 60s?
Yeah, no, so as you know, obviously in the 60s, I'm young, you know what I mean? But as time unfolds and I'm growing up in the 70s and I'm going to school, the 80s come with their complexities and whatever. And you are constantly trying to start choosing. You are placed in a space where you need to start choosing, and especially when you're growing up in the township, you suddenly think it's either I go this way or I go this way, and you understand what it means to choose. And some of the choices are not hip, they're not cool, but you say, but they feel comfortable. This is where I need to be.
But it's those. I mean, we were talking about the hurdles a little bit earlier on. It's those hurdles, those things that you get wrong that I believe make you feel more appreciative of where you are. Right?
Yeah.
So you don't really appreciate it until you've had that moment where you go,
Yeah.
I've totally botched this up.
Yeah.
I mean, in your creative space, is there something that you've done, a vision that you try to portray that didn't hit, that didn't land?
Yeah, so just before I answer that, and so I'm a father to two boys, and the older one is 34, and I've got a 21-year-old, and I've from all those lessons from me growing up, there was something that I absolutely committed to. I think sometimes we don't tell our kids how difficult life is. We create this utopia, and I think when we do tell our kids that life is difficult, you are giving them ammunition to deal with the difficulty when it comes their way. And so there are questions that when kids pose them, and we need to take time and really answer them with an idea. I've lived my whole life with an idea of an imminent grave. I live like that.
Really?
Yes, I live like that.
Why?
I come from a family where men died. Men kept dying very young, and the idea of death was always very close to me, and so it just brought this thing of every day is a walk towards an imminent grave.
Yeah.
And when I wake up and there's a breath in me and there's a commitment in me to say, yes, another day, I need to grab that day with everything I have, because I might not have it. And it's memories that are indelible in me, that when I was growing up, I buried so many men that I think back that now I'm 56, they never got to the age I'm at.
Incredible.
And they were, and so that idea of an imminent grave has made me a father who has an urgency. That when a child asks a question, I need to answer it, because I might not be around tomorrow to answer that question. And so it's...
I mean, that's quite ominous, but also beautiful. I mean, it certainly makes you live life to the fullest, doesn't it? If you think that this could happen to me at any stage.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
And do you find that you become risk averse then because of this thing that's like a Damocles sword? Do you become risk averse, or do you push yourself even harder?
No, you push yourself. You just everything you do. Everything I do it as a possible last thing that I get to do, and that's how I've always been. And so I'm quite urgent, and I'm a very patient person. But the only time when I'm not patient is when I'm surrounded by lethargy, by no
other people's lethargy.
Yeah, I struggle when I'm around a person who. When we have something that we must do, we need to break our backs to do it. And I always say, if there's another way, I don't want to learn it. And it's just like you say yes to something, and then you must do it. The best way you can. It might be great, it might not be great, but you did it.
Yes, and do it.
Yeah.
James, we're gonna keep talking. I've got a couple of voice notes to play for you, but let's first listen to this.
Part of the 702 family.
My name is Iwet Machinya Tsimbi. I'm from Deep Blue Phase 3. I've listened to 702 since 1980, when it was still Channel 702, when it was still a music radio station. Till today, I still listen to this station. I get the information from this station. I get empowered. I get to be informative. Thank you, 702, and keep on rocking.
Welcome to our 702 family. Let's walk the talk.
Let's count backward. 5, insurance. 4, pineapple. 3, insurance. 2, pineapple. 1, you're under. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Betway's exclusive new games are taking the world by storm. Featuring massive Megaways jackpots. Take your shot on Cash and Riches, Wolf Blaze, Gallo Gold Brunos, and many more incredible experiences for you to choose from. You're guaranteed to find a new ultra fun favorite. Get way more only at Betway. Betway is licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No persons under the age of 18 are permitted to gamble. NRGP counseling line 0800 006 008. All events are fixed odds betting games.
Access to the internet is vital for any country to grow. That's why the recent 6.75 billion rand digital infrastructure deal that Standard Bank Corporate and Investment Banking facilitated between Telkom and an Actors-led consortium is so transformational for South Africa. It unlocks growth and provides internet access to underserved communities who will now have access to the internet for the very first time. Search CIB Stories of Impact to watch the full story.
Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
702.
The upside of failure.
Proof that a setback can lead to a step forward.
And with me in the studio is South African Artistic Director James Ngcobo, and Dr. Philemon Mahuma says, thank you for a beautiful interview with you. He speaks with great energy and his work is amazing. We were just saying that your energy is fantastic. And I love it because you were talking about people who are lethargic. I mean, you feel that you can't be lethargic next to you. Let's listen to these voice notes. I'd love to hear what you think about them.
Good afternoon, 702. You know, the character, I mean, the person, James, the person that you have there on studio, the character that I will always remember him by, it's the Kumalo character on Stockfair. The greatest, best, passionate character ever. When I was still a teen, we used to watch Stockfair, and in fact, the whole cast gave us perfect scene each and every time we watched it. So hey, thanks for bringing out one of the best characters we've seen on our screens, and yeah, shout out to him.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah.
Was that an important character for you? Was it hard?
Yeah. It was. So before that, I'd done a lot of dramatic roles. I don't know if you remember a series called Hard Copy.
Yeah.
That was done a couple of years ago, produced by the company owned by Harriet Gavshon,
Yes.
which was called Curious Pictures at that time. And I was playing an editor of a newspaper opposite Fiona Ramsey. And, you know, a lot of the roles that I got to play, playing 90 Plain Street. And, you know, so this was like me really tapping into my funny bones, you know, which was... And I'd had a taste of it when I did a scene with the great Rex Garner and Joe Mafela in a thing called Going Up, and sort of like discovered that I've got funny bones. So I was playing the lead in Stockfell and playing a guy who's a Zulu man married to this Motswana lady, and he's trying so hard to learn her language. I remember a lady called Roberta Durant called me to sit in with the writers and to talk about the character, and I just said, I feel there's always been like a stereotype sometimes that happens with characters of different nations, different tribes and things, and I just said, I want to play a Zulu guy who is desperately trying to learn his wife's language, and every time he speaks it, it's wrong. And she mollycoddles him to the right way of saying it, and not knowing. And I had a great director called Vusti Bagwane who directed us, and not knowing that was like the genesis of the comedy that my character brought into the show. And I've always believed that when you're in a comedy, you need to play it as honest as you can, and not be aware that you're in a comedy.
Yes.
It's a situation comedy that you're in. It needs you to bring your heart to it. And then the laughter comes from that honesty. And blessed with a lady called Manaka Ranaka who played my wife. We just clicked, and me and Manaka. So that piece was created for me and another actress who couldn't do it. She got a phone, and I was opening with a play at the market. I was playing a lead in a play directed by Fiona Ramsey, written by Monde Mayepu. I was playing a writer, and the producer called me and said, that other actress is no longer there. And they said, can you come tomorrow, James? We're seeing 7 women. And they said, we want you to be part of the decision of choosing the actress that's going to play your wife. And I arrived there already. Actress 1, Actress 2, Actress 3, Actress 4. The 5th one, when she walked in, there was just like an effervescence about her. She walked in and I looked at her and yes, I just knew, and we read. And I'd never met her in my life. After we finished the reading, we just passed like we've known each other forever. She walked out and Joe Mafela and Roberta Durant said to me, what do you think? I said, this is the one. And they said, there's 2 more. And I said, yes, I know, but this, and the 2 more came in, they were beautiful, but we just didn't have the synergy that I had with Manaka. And we shot this thing in Cape Town for 9 years. And we just like, I used to wake up and run around the promenade there on in the Atlantic seaboard early in the morning, just prepare myself for this piece, and we will shoot 2 episodes a week, just surrounded by finest talent that I was working with in this piece, and each actor just brought each actor just spewed their truth when we and I think that is why people still remember this piece.
I mean, there is something about that stage presence, and when there's a relationship between 2 people. I mean, talking about relationships, I know you are in one. I mean, how hard is it being in a job like yours, where you have to bond with people, where you get really close, where you get into their head?
Yeah.
How do you manage that and not failing in other relationships?
I mean, my lady in this year in April we made 30 years together.
Congratulations!
Yeah, it took us 15 years to get married. We've known each other for 30 years. We 15 years married. I think I've always approached relationships with an idea that nobody has ever had a perfect relationship in the history of time.
Of course not. Absolutely.
And relationships, you're not going to find them in an aisle at some shop next to the detergents and pick one. You know, so you work on a relationship, and I think I'm blessed like that. I have someone in my life where both of us have committed to fixing things that go wrong, and there's no perfect, and I think I'll be bored in a perfect relationship. You know what I mean? And so it's and there's a time when time teaches you something. When you've been with somebody for a long time, there are things you accept that they will never change about them. Those things define who they are. But what has been beautiful for me is that she's in a completely different world.
It's quite healthy, isn't it?
Yeah. And I see it with her and listen to what she's doing, and she reciprocates. She gives me that, and she knows me, and I've been an actor for years and years, but I really I think because I come from such a big family, I'm such a space freak. And I'm known, I'll have an opening night and there's multitudes of people and I greet everybody and I find a moment and I go home.
And you
Okay,
so tell us, I mean, I want to know what's happening, what's coming up. We saw demonstrations on the streets yesterday. I mean, things aren't in too happy a place when it comes to actors, when it comes to directing in South Africa. Are we going to get it right?
I'm hoping we do get it right, and there are bills that needs.
I mean, a lot of people haven't been paid for many years.
Yeah, the president needs to sit down and look at some of the bills that will absolutely change the lives of all of us who are in the arts sector. It just needs a lot of caring from the government and a clear shaping of what it is. I mean, the contribution to the GDP of this country is massive. That comes from our sector. But the one thing that I again take my hat off to everybody who's in this industry with me, with all the problems, we are constantly replenishing a breath and making things.
No, extraordinary. I must say, I'm such supporters of you and the talent, and we have a lot out there. So what's the next thing? What can we look forward to? What are you going to be doing?
Yes, so as you know, I've just finished a production that we did at the theatre, at the Joburg Theatre, adaptation of Fred Khumalo's Dancing the Death Drill, and the next piece that I'm doing is called An Ode to Motown.
Lovely.
We are looking at the story, looking at Berry Gordy, we're looking at Detroit, we're looking at the temperature at the time when he started this iconic studio that to this day people are still recording at Motown. And I've got 5 ingeniews that I'm working with. Lerato Velase, I've got Tamara Day, I've got Anel Mtetwa, I've got Mhlengiwe Dlamini that I'm working with. I've got Liesel, that amazing singer from a group called Jamali. So I'm busy now just putting together this piece. We start rehearsals in January, and it's going to open and be running in February at the Joburg Theatre. And I'm inviting people to just come and hear these canaries that I've put together, and the music that we put. And we're looking at old Motown, and we're looking at 21st century Motown. So it's just going to be just a piece about who Berry Gordy was, and in him starting Motown. What did that do to music? And I'm always fascinated by how songwriters write songs sometimes that are in conversation with the world. I mean, Marvin Gaye wrote a song called What's Going On. A lot of people don't know that is in response to the Vietnam War. And so just that idea that world events or events that happen in a country, they become a muse for people who are writers, because you deal with it and the response is that you then produce something artistically that adds on that narrative. So we've just opened bookings and it's selling like crazy.
No, I can imagine.
I'm just saying to people, if you want to see this piece called An Ode to Motown, book now for the tickets at Joburg Theatre.
We'll be there. I'll be in the front row. Just wonderful talking to you, James Ngcobo.
Thank you so much.
South African artistic director. Loved your energy. Thank you.
Bless you. Thank you so much.
To celebrate 25 years of helping you live the Premier life, FNB Premier is giving you a chance to win a 14-day European tour experience and other cool monthly prizes. Open any FNB Premier account from September to 31 December 2025. Switch your salary, swipe or tap a minimum of 2,000 Rand per month for 3 months straight. Spend and win with FNB Premier. FNB, help changes everything. TCs and competition rules apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
Enjoy the thrill of the Soccer Punches Challenge Weekend Edition, an all-new platform from Hollywood Bets. You stand a chance to win a share of the 5 million Rand jackpot when you bet 5 Rand or more on selected EPL matches over the weekend and correctly predict 10 out of 10 winning margins. Or chase the share of the 50,000 Rand leaderboard prize. Entry is free. Let this soccer season bring sizzling success. Bet now.
T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is licensed by the Western Cape Gambling and Racing Board. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
You are not dreaming. You are repeating. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
What a way to kick off the weekend. Wonderful being with you. It's 3 o'clock. Time for the news.
This is EWN.
Panyaza Lesufi lives to see another day in office, and doctors in London abandon their posts over pay. Good afternoon, I'm Khomzo Modise. Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi has survived a motion of no confidence against him in the provincial legislature. The House heard the motion today, which was brought by the DA. The party accuses Lesufi of mishandling allegations of corruption regarding Tembisa Hospital tenders and negligence regarding the constitutional or unconstitutional establishment of the crime prevention wardens. However, the DA has failed to convince the majority of political parties in the provincial legislature to support its motion. Alvaro Mshwana reports.
The Gauteng provincial legislature consists of 11 political parties, most of which refuse to support the motion of no confidence against Premier Panyaza Lesufi. Only the DA voted in favor of removing him, while all other parties, including those in the opposition, voted for Lesufi to remain in office. Parties that rejected the motion argued that the DA's proposal was frivolous and pointed out that it was the DA itself that helped elect Lesufi last year. Lesufi has been addressing supporters outside the provincial legislature.
They put a racist banner here. Government has removed that banner, and we want to thank local government for removing that particular banner.
The Freedom Front Plus refused to support the DA's motion against
that banner, and we want to thank local government for removing that particular banner.
The Freedom Front Plus refused to support the DA's motion against the Premier and chose to abstain from the vote. Alfa Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg.
2 young people have been killed in a suspected drug turf war in the Wentworth area south of Durban. 7 others sustained injuries and were rushed to hospital for medical care. Police are now searching for the 2 suspects behind the hit. Ndlandla Mabaso reports.
While police are about to finish combing through evidence at the crime scene, detectives are searching for the suspects responsible for the incident. It's alleged 2 men opened fire on a group of people who were seated outside a flat in Wentworth, instantly killing 2 young men. Eyewitnesses say the gunmen, who were traveling in a grey Mazda 3, chased the victims as they ran away, continuously shooting at them. Police spokesperson Robert Nechiwunda.
Motive of the killing is unknown at this stage, but gang and drug theft war cannot be ruled out.
Police are investigating a case of murder and attempted murder. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Durban.
The Department of Home Affairs says the 153 travelers from Palestine did not apply for asylum. The group landed at the OR Tambo International Airport yesterday. from Nairobi in Kenya. The department says they were not allowed to disembark the plane as they didn't have the customary departure stamps in their passports. After receiving more information from the Palestinian embassy and getting confirmation that they would have a place to stay, the department allowed them entry into the country. Home Affairs Minister spokesperson Leon Schreiber.
I presented the new fact set to the BMA Commissioner for consideration, including on humanitarian grounds. Once satisfied that the absence of certain elements from their itinerary would not leave them destitute in South Africa in the absence of any asylum claims, the travellers were granted entry into South Africa on the standard 90-day visa exemption, subject to compliance with the standard condition.
With wage negotiations settled, FlyStar Affairs says it's now looking forward to continued growth and operational reliability as the airline ramps up capacity ahead of the G20 Leaders Summit. The company's finally reached agreement with the South African Cabin Crew Association, bringing an end to a labour dispute that lasted several weeks. FlyStar Affairs Kirby Gordon says they've now secured multi-year agreements with both unions representing pilots and cabin crew, ensuring labour stability for the next 4 years.
So we're looking at increases to the base pay of between 6 and 6.9% over the various years, a guaranteed bonus of 7.5%, then obviously the agreed notch progressions for the cabin attendants, and then a meal allowance that's built in of 30 Rand per day that they're operating. So all in all, once that comes together, it's an effective increase of about 19% per individual, which is, I think, incredibly generous in the current economic climate. We've seen most employers give between 3 and 5% this year.
Gordon says employees who were locked out will resume services next week.
Obviously, those that were locked out and not participating in or withholding their labour at this stage have not been actually included into the current roster. So they'll be rostered in now and included on the schedules from next week going forward. And of course, what's great is that now for the rest of our crew, we can actually publish our rosters forward for a whole month as opposed to operating on a week-to-week basis.
And thousands of doctors in England have begun a 5-day strike over pay and training posts. This is the 13th walkout by medics since March 2023. The Health Minister, Wes Streeting, has condemned the strike, accusing leadership of the Doctors' Union, British Medical Association, of choosing confrontation over care. The BMA argues that the resident doctors need a 26% pay hike to restore their earnings to the real value that they had 2 decades ago. The union is also demanding an increase in training posts. Gold's trading at $4,114.45 an ounce. The rand's at 17.13 to the dollar, 22.54 to the pound, and 19.93 to the euro. Brent crude oil's at $63.01 a barrel.
Well, in the Calvin Alex area, we still have those roadworks slowing down traffic. This is on the N3 southbound between the Platoon Change and London Road, and there's also bumper traffic in Sunwood Park, Boksburg. This is on the N17 eastbound between Relebogile and Carnival City, slowing down traffic.
In your world of sports, India set the standard in day one of their first test against the Proteas, who were bowled out for 159, while coach Rassie Erasmus makes 11 changes to his starting lineup. This for tomorrow's test against Italy. And Bafana are gearing up for the African Cup of Nations starting in 5 weeks. But first, they meet Zambia for a not-so-friendly match tomorrow. I'll tell you why just before 4.
It's a cloudy Friday in Gauteng with isolated afternoon showers and thunder showers expected. The temperatures peaking at highs of between 25 and 27. The top story in EWN this hour, Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi lives to see another day in office after the motion of no confidence against him failed.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Live
on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7.
And 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 3 o'clock. Thanks very much for joining us. Good afternoon. My name is Thabo Shola Mashao. John Pellman is not here. I'm in his stead. Great having you with us this afternoon as you're driving home or wherever you're listening from. Most welcome. I'd love to hear from you about a couple